In this video, we will go ahead and create a VNet peering between the VNets. I have two VNets, as you see. One of them is new underscore VNet2 and the other one is VNet1. Both of them are located in East US geographical region. It doesn't matter though, they can be in two different regions as well, so their location really doesn't matter in this case. You can have VNet peering between the VNets in different regions as well. To create a VNet peering, I'll click on one of the VNets and then scroll down to the point where I see peerings. Click on that, and then on the top you will see the add button. Now you will get a blade or a form where you gotta fill up these values, and depending on your requirements you may want to pick and choose one or more of them. Let's go through these options one by one. The first box is how do you want to name the peering. Based on your naming conventions and standards, you may want to name the peering. I'll just call it as peer 1. Usually we always select resource manager here because the classic methods of deployments will be deprecated soon. So I'll select resource manager here. If you know your resource ID, you can select that. But if you do not know your resource ID, which in this case I don't know the resource ID, so I will uncheck it. I will tell you where you can get this resource ID from. Usually it's in the properties box, and I'll tell you where it is. My subscription is pay as you go. The virtual network to which I want to peer is new underscore VNet1, right? That's the only VNet I have. I'll select that, and then you can select the name of the peering from VNet1 to VNet2. This name is from VNet2 to 1, whereas this one that will be created will be from 1 to 2. So I'll call it as peer 2. Now if you scroll down, there are furthermore options which controls the behavior of traffic to and from the VNet. The first one is allowing virtual network access from VNet2 to VNet1. The second one is allowing VNet access from VNet1 to 2, right? Do you want a single direction or a unidirectional communication or a bidirectional communication? As you see, both of them are enabled at this time. That means by default you have bidirectional communication between VNets when you enable VNet peering. But if you want just unidirectional communication, let's say from VNet2 to VNet1 only, and no communication between 1 and 2 must exist, or from 1 to 2 must exist, then you will set it to disabled. I will choose enable for this and move on to the next setting. Configure forwarded traffic settings. Allow forwarded traffic from VNet1 to VNet2. Do you want the traffic to be allowed from VNet1 to 2 or not? Which is the forwarded traffic. So if the traffic comes to VNet1, do you want that traffic to go to VNet2? Well, yeah, anything that's residing inside VNet1 will get routed to VNet2 anyways. But what if there is certain level of forwarded traffic that comes from the external environment to VNet1? Should that get forwarded as well to VNet2? Is controlled by this setting. Now looks like that is disabled by default, and the next option, which is allow forwarded traffic from VNet2 to 1, is also disabled by default. So you can have these settings enabled if you like. If I enable this too, that means that I will have all the forwarded traffic going to and from 1 to 2. The next option is gateway transit. When you hear the term gateway in networking terminologies, it just means an external endpoint. In this case, it will be a virtual network gateway. Do you want those gateway transit to happen? So if you allow the gateway transit, then the resources in this VNet 1 and 2 will be able to talk to the resources outside the virtual networks. Probably there is a virtual network gateway communication between on-premise and your VNets. Then this checkbox means that your virtual resources in your VNet will be able to communicate with the resources in your premise. I'm getting that error message because none of my virtual networks have a virtual network gateway. In the next set of videos, you will see how a virtual network gateway is created, and we'll do the lab for that. But at this time, I will uncheck this box and proceed to creation of the virtual network peering. Looks like the peer is created and connected on Vnet 2 side. I will go and check it on the Vnet 1 side as well. So I'll click on new underscore Vnet 2, go to the peering section to see if the peer 2 is created. Looks like it is. That means I have a bidirectional peering created between the two virtual networks in East US. Now this is how simple it is to create a VNet peering between the virtual networks.